some of
I
these,
don't think Friday night is the greatest time to do
well, and
this.
I think our culture's become music saturated to a point where it's not special anymore, which is kind of hard.
Greetings from the Shenandoah Valley. I'm Will Carson. Jeremy's here as well. Last name Soule.
Soul it is.
Jeremy Soule is here, a real musician. He'll be entertaining you after I whip through my bad set. Got 7 songs for you, 6 originals and a cover. And tonight I actually thought I'd explain a little bit about the songs because someone had asked me what all my songs meant and what the themes were and stuff because they're so obtuse. Anyway, this first song is called I Can't Reach Tomorrow, and it's all about taking a step of a leap of faith and not just dipping your toe in the water, but jumping off a ship in the ocean. And the backdrop is a space exploration flight. Though I know I can't reach tomorrow, gonna reach out my hands anyway. Though I know I can't reach tomorrow, won't give my future away. Set our course for the stars in the distance, through the night as the aliens fly. Set our spacecraft on maximum thrusters, cut through the milk drops, perched in the sky. Leave your cares on the docking platform, leave your fears in the quietest dreams. Now's the time to look far past the heavens, into your dreams, your wildest dreams. Take my hand and we'll float through the chambers, watch the belts and the cushions collide. Take my hand and we'll never look back, love. We'll live for the moment, we'll live for the ride. See the shimmering frost in the distance, see the moon turning over in bed, see the stars that he hung out like pin lights, guiding our spirits ahead. Go to sleep in the shadow of Venus, I'll pilot the starship tonight. When you wake we'll be spinning round Saturn, surveying the rings and taking the sights. All I need is your word that you're with me, and shooting stars will abide. Though I know I can't reach tomorrow, I'm sure gonna try, I'm sure gonna try. Though I know I can't reach tomorrow, gonna reach out my hands anyway. Though I know I can't reach tomorrow, I won't give my future away. That was real good. You can if you want to.
That was really good.
Thank you. I posted a with me it doesn't matter because my voice is never in tune. I posted a copy of this song as a kind of a teaser the other day, and one of my friends back in New Hampshire wrote in, "What version of lyrics is that?" And actually, I wrote this song a long time ago, and this is the 3rd set of lyrics. It's a song called Dangerous Line, and it's about how we fool ourselves into think we're behaving and living our lives right when we're not. And when I originally wrote this song, it was really simple. It was just about a guy who wasn't reading his Bible or going to church, and it was very simplistic. Now it's all about stuff that you do when you're in the world and when you're living through your life. And it's interesting how it's changed. Every time I rewrite something, it gets a little bit more clouded. This is Dangerous Line. Words of sanctimonious trouble slide across your tongue. Planets collide in a hail of rubble when the deed is done. Flames and tears in a lake of fire bring deception home. Establishing contact in a Martian mire, your words stand alone. Your words stand alone. And you say the antidote is crystal clear. The darkness is burned away. I'll call you when I have some more time. And your heart says you're walking a dangerous line. It's hard to tell where you side. You're walking a dangerous line. Unfolding like a deck of cards, burn the plasma screen. Layered pallets turn to twisted shards. The souls eye has seen. The soul's eye has seen. Beautiful at the time of birth, now turned black as oil. Clear the history of the filthy sty, arrows fully soiled, arrows fully soiled. And you say it's really just a tool I use. I'm not sinking in the sand. I'll let you know when it stains my mind. And your heart says you're walking a dangerous line. Hard to tell where you side. You're walking a dangerous line. Stuff your face with unholy slime. Envy the king of jealousy. Lay around in your life of crime. Claim the wrath and reverie. Claim the wrath and revelry. Hold all things collected on the way. Let your chest be blown away. Turn a blind ear to the gated cave as grace carries rain away. The rain carries grace away. And you say, I'm living my life day to day, down the middle cloaked in gray. I'll change the channel when I see a sign. And your heart says, you're walking a dangerous line. Hard to tell where you side. You're walking a dangerous line. You're walking a dangerous line. It's hard to tell where you side. You're walking a dangerous line. You're walking a dangerous line. Hard to tell where you side. You're walking a dangerous line. Thank you.
Yep, it's kind of cloudy here.
Yep. Of course, I'm tone deaf, so I can't tell, but I'll take your word
Actually,
for it.
very few people are actually tone deaf.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, being unable to distinguish between high and low notes.
So last week there was another big dust up. The problem with social media is everybody's got algorithms now and they can put out all this hate stuff and complain about everything.
Oh, God, yeah.
Last week, some students at the University of Michigan complained that they didn't want American Sniper shown on campus because it was offensive to people who are pacifist or Muslim or whatever. So the University of Michigan announced that they were censoring the film from the campus. They were not going to let it on campus, not going to show it, no posters, nothing. And the next day, Jim Harbaugh, who is the new football coach and was the San Francisco 49ers coach and is kind of a big deal, he was infuriated, and he went to them and straightened them out and told them that we should be supporting the military. And later that day, the University of Michigan announced that they would be showing American Sniper and that they were proud of our military. And that seems to go on all the time. This next song I wrote is about a longtime singer, songwriter, independent voice, and a progressive artist named Michelle Schacht. And about a year ago, Michelle Schacht, who has always been very progressive and a supporter of lesbian, gay, transgendered rights, to the point that people started rumors for many years that she was gay. She was performing in San Francisco, and she made some kind of comment about Proposition 8 or whatever it was being struck down. And she was joking about it, and people in the audience gasped and stuff. And she said, "Oh yeah, now you're going to go on Twitter and ruin my life." Well, everybody did, and to the point where the guy who owned the nightclub walked up and unplugged her. And like within a week, somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 shows that she had booked for the next year were all canceled. So she got furious about that, and later she went and busted a show. She put on a white trash bag and busted a show at a venue, outside a venue she was supposed to play at, that had been canceled. And she had duct tape over her mouth that said "fear." And she brought markers, and when people went into the show, she had them write things on her trash bag. Anyway, I just thought that was absolutely ridiculous, another one of those overreactions. So I wrote this overreaction song called "The Crucifixion of Michelle Schacht." Trapped in the darkness, swimming through night, soft invite whispered, piercing and bright. She fought like a badger, cornered and scared, surrendered to healing she felt then and there. He broke like a comet, straight for the heart. She fell for the spirit in a cold fuel restart. Her voice found a calling, her songs found a home. They said she was gay and wouldn't leave it alone. She swung like a pendulum on a grandfather clock, caught between truth and counterfeit rock. On that day of reckoning at Yoshi's by the bay, she stood for the truth, they took her microphone away. The lovers of sin, they canceled her shows. She tried to appease, but there was nowhere to go. She busted a venue where they wouldn't let her in, wrapped in white plastic, duct tape or her sin. Silenced by fear, read the tape on her mouth. When the Lord takes it off, what words will come out? When the shouting has ceased, there's only one truth. It's the same for me, sister, as it is for you. Michelle Schacht was crucified with demons in tow, and God hates all sin, His word tells us so. This pitch black allegiance will drag you along Lest you come for the singing, but stay for the song. All right, now I'm going to do my cover for the evening.
Yay, what do you got?
This is Guy Clark. Pretty famous song of his. When I was, I don't know, in my 20s, I guess, I saw Guy Clark on Austin City Limits. Wow. Seriously, 3 songs in, I was like, this guy's the greatest singer-songwriter in the entire world. And he does a lot of country-type stuff that I'm completely not into. But wow, he's so good. What a great songwriter. And I immediately went out and bought 2 of his albums and then got his Essential album CD when that came out. Anyway, this is one of his more popular songs called Desperados Waiting for a Train. I played the Red River Valley. He'd sit in the kitchen and cry and run his fingers through 70 years of living and wonder, Lord, has every well I've drilled gone dry? We were friends, me and this old man, like desperados waiting for a train. Like desperados waiting for a train. He was a drifter, a driller of oil wells, a teacher, a witness to the world. He taught me how to drive his car when he was too old to. And he'd wink and give me money for the girls. And our lives was like some old western movie, like desperados waiting for a train. Like desperados waiting for a train. From the time I could walk, he'd take me with him to a place called the Green Frog Cafe, where old men with beer gods and dominoes lie about their lives as they play. And I was just a kid, they all called me sidekick. We're like desperados waiting for a train. Like desperados waiting for a train. One day I looked up and he was pushing 80. Brown coffee stains all down his chin. Well, to me, he's one of the heroes of this country. So why is he all dressed up like them old men? Drinking beer and playing Moon and 42, just like a desperado waiting for a train. Like desperados waiting for a train. I went to see him. I was grown, he was almost gone. So we just closed our eyes and dreamed us up some heaven. Sang another verse of that old song. Come on, Jack. I see an angel way up yonder, and we're desperados waiting for a train. Desperados waiting for a train. We're desperados waiting for a train. We're desperados waiting for a train. I believe you can tell the difference instantly between one of his songs and one of my songs.
I don't know.
I always thought that was one of your songs.
Oh, thanks.
I think too many opinions get in the way.
You do a lot of songs with the word desperado.
That's true. I do. Hey, Texas is on board. Hello, Texas. This next song I wrote for the Michael Clem Trio.
Texas came in right when you sang the Desperado song. That's perfect.
Yep, that's true. Hello from Texas. This next song I wrote for the Michael Clem Trio because they always have twist songs that change in the middle and punch in the stomach. So I wrote this one, and it's a Western song to go with Desperados for a Train, and my wife hates it. It's called Meanwhile Out on the Plains. Ghost town west of Austin used to be a stockade, but the soldiers burned the fuselage and the tumbleweeds rolled away. When I was there in 49, the miners were headed west, and I fell hard for Caroline, took a hammer to the chest. Her yellow hair was braided, and her ears took a cautious peek. We forged a path through the goldenrods and had a picnic at the creek. I began full courting, her dress swayed in measured time, but a bounty came a-calling, and I left Caroline. I bid my time and tracked across the plains. She burned inside and practiced forgetting my name. The patrons of St. Valentine were waiting in the wings. I intended to offer her love and a diamond ring. She said she'd never forgive me as I saddled up my horse. Some women don't understand calling or a river's twisted course. I knew she'd take me back again after the bounty had been claimed, and I'd retire in her arms and let the trail dust melt away. I returned in the winter when everything was dead, with visions of her wood stove and her shoulder for my head. I stood outside her cabin and warbled my triumphant song. She flung open the door and I sensed love was gone. She drew her gun so I had to knock her down. She drew her gun, and it fired into the ground. Patrons of St. Valentine grew wings and went on the run. I intended to offer her love, but she drew her gun. There's a funeral at noon tomorrow on the west side of Gambler's Hill. They'll wail for dear old Caroline, but I'll be far down the trail.
He always writes songs about the Old West. I do not get them.
Must be his Old West background.
What? There's no Old West background.
Alright, what do you got for us?
All right, this song I actually smashed two songs together because neither one of them was long enough. But this song is called No Reluctance, and it's actually supposed to be an envisioning of Jesus talking to Judas when he was betrayed in the garden. Guess it's time to be moving on. I always knew he'd come to this. There's just impatience in your soft green eyes, no reluctance in your kiss. All the times when I talked with you, I just wanted to hear you say that you knew me like a memory, and your love would always stay. Locked in a struggle between black and white, I felt the forces tear your heart, and I knew you wanted to do right, but you were cursed from the very start. Were you watching with diamond eyes when the times began to change, when the sun burned away the darkness and love began to replace hate? When I came to you, you were full of pride. All of you that had been with me had shriveled up and died. I told you the truth, but all you wanted was a lie, and you left me standing in the light because your darkness was too bright. I heard you call to me and offer pain eternally when I offered my heart to you, surrendered broken attitudes, and you burned away the light as I watched you turn into the night, and you burned away the light as I watched you turn into the night. See, the teacher has missed his mark, so don't pretend to bow your head. Don't be foolish, don't think about the future. Just remember exactly what I've said. I see the time has come to leave you. I see the swords flash in the night. Run away, but go and face your maker. Close your eyes, you can't escape the light. Guess it's time to be moving on. I always knew he'd come to this. There's just impatience in your soft green eyes, no reluctance in your kiss.
Very nice mashup.
So I recently had this is going to be my last song. Then we're going to take a couple minutes and get you over to Jeremy. I recently put up a bunch of video songs, just me playing some songs in the video, and asked a bunch of my friends and colleagues from New Hampshire which they liked best, and this one won. And I actually think, I don't like the tune to this song, the melody or the lack of chord changes, but it probably is the best song I've ever written. It's a song called Vagrant Miscues, and it's about a person who's looking back on life and being extremely disappointed and filled with regret. When I was young, the foolish deeds slipped off my back like rain. Unwavering confidence rose up again and again. But soon I grew a cast iron stock around my swollen neck. Both smooth and sharp, the shackles grew upon my burgeoning wreck. The darkest soul-forged chains of sin with twisted, glittering links. He found a way to bypass my brain, so I act before I think. He added weights to the end of the chains to drag throughout this life. He pushed aside the rescuer and branded me with his knife. These vagrant miscues were seared and stained in the corners of my mind. I cannot take a single step without the memories walking in line. As I reflect, they were serious moves which crippled a legion of souls, not washed away by blood or intentions or my journey as a whole. So I, like a ghost or a memory, stay shackled to the shame of the past. Look hard into the eyes of the Master and wonder if His grace will last. We begin to melt with our first great sin. Flakes of skin dance away in the wind. Dueling voices steer our destiny. One hopeless one says, begin again. There is comfort in the darkness and the shame of our worthless charade. For there's comfort in forgiveness for the dead seas that we have made. Vagrant miscues call to you, in which year will you let them arrive? To live and die in our past mistakes, or to walk away and survive. What a great intro to Jeremy. Jeremy's going to come and lighten things up now.
Play something cheerful. Boy, go through my set list. Start with all the cheerful songs.
All right, I'm Will Carson. I'll see you next time from the Shenandoah Valley. Jeremy Soule's up next.
Let's go find out. Blueberry, granola.
I wish I'd known. I didn't have to dress up. All right, where do you want to do all this?
All right. Why don't you put your amp right there? You can plug in there. Let me get my guitar.
It's a great
We're going to take about 5 minutes to set this up here. Don't go away.
Please. I guess I could have just brought an acoustic guitar. Didn't realize what a small venue this is going to be. Good. All right. Pass me my guitar when you have a second. Thank you, sir.
Do you need music stand?
Nah. If I don't know these songs, actually, I just need that little turquoise piece of paper. If I don't know these songs by this time, I'm in trouble. Oh, and my thumb pick, too. Thanks. You got a lot of picture ready for action here. Well, this will be a little different. Probably doesn't need to be that loud, does it? Take that off, a little more reverb on it. No, that sounds like a big cathedral. That sounds workable. All right, you think we're ready to start?
Get it?
Well, what do I tell these folks? My name's Jeremy Soule. I live here in Stanton, Virginia. I run a business called the Vintage Clarinet Doctor, restoring antique musical instruments. And I'm going to play a little music. Yes, it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played on a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played on a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. I just found joy, I'm as happy as a baby boy with another brand new choo-choo toy. When I'm with my sweet Lorraine, a pair of eyes that are bluer than the summer skies. When you're with her, you will realize why I love my sweet Lorraine. When it's raining, I don't miss the sun, 'cause it's in my sweetest smile. Just to think that I'm the lucky one that will lead her down the aisle. Each night I pray that nobody steals her heart away. I can't wait until that lucky day when I sign a prenuptial with sweet Lorraine. Paper Moon and Sweet Lorraine. Thank you. I see the lights coming on here. No, everything's quiet. My gal knows how to work, but she likes to stay home instead. My gal knows how to work, but she likes to stay home instead. She's so darn lazy, they call her the lady in bed. Mama tried to raise her nice, but couldn't even raise her head. Mama tried to raise her nice, but she couldn't even raise her head. day she ain't dead tired, that'll be the day she's dead. She's too tired to eat, too tired to sin, too tired to reach for her quarter gin. Yes, she's half asleep, but she's even too tired to yawn. She's been strictly horizontal ever since the day she's born. Lady in Bed.
Acknowledge. Will Carson is taking notes.
That was by Orrin Hot Lips Page, who was the trumpet player of the Count Basie Orchestra back in the late 30s. I had a recording of that I got off the radio when I was a kid, about 13 years old, and I thought, boy, if I ever learn how to play, I want to learn that song. So I learned that song. I have done that song more times than I can think of. Let's see what else we've got here.
I like that line. Was it something like the day she's not dead tired, she'll be dead?
That'll be the day she's dead, yeah. I did that once as a performance with a dance group of young women who were really talented, and it was a solo number with me on one side of the stage and a young woman laying on a sofa watching a TV, and she got up and did this lazy dance routine. It was like she could barely get moving. It was so wonderful. All right, let's see what else we've got here. This is a little, Will was kind enough to do a mashup earlier. I'm going to do a mashup of a slightly different type. This is a 1940s ballad and a rock song by Queen that some people might recognize. Now I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad, but I knew life before I left my nursery. Left alone with big fat Fanny, she was such a naughty nanny. Hey, big woman, you made a bad boy out of me. Oh, won't you take me home tonight? Oh, down beside the red firelight. Fat bottom girls, you make that rockin' world go round. Now I've been singing with my band across the wire, across the land. I've seen every blue-eyed floozy in Lynchburg, but their beauty and their style went kind of smooth after a while. Take me to them dirty ladies every time. Beside the red firelight, oh, and give it all you got. Fat bottom girls, you make that rockin' world go round. Your mortgages and homes, I got stiffness in the bones. Ain't no beauty queens in this locality except one or two. Oh, but I still get my pleasure, still got my greatest treasure. Hey, big woman, you made a big man out of me. Oh, won't you take me home tonight? Beside the red firelight, oh, and let it all hang out. Fat bottom girls, you make that right. make that rocking world go round. Get on your bikes and ride.
If only Fritz were here.
I know. Well, I better balance that one out a little bit now. We've had a little bit of the secular. We're going to take it over to the other side. There's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see it afar, where the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there in the sweet by and by. We will meet on that beautiful shore in the sweet by and by, by and by. We'll meet on that beautiful shore to our bountiful Father above. We will offer a tribute of praise for the glorious gifts of His love and the blessings that hallow our days in the sweet by and by. We will meet on that beautiful shore in the sweet by and by, by and by. We'll meet on that beautiful shore. We will sing on that beautiful shore the melodious songs of the blessed, and our spirit shall sorrow no more. Never cry for the blessing of rest in the sweet by and by. We will meet on that beautiful shore in the sweet by and by, by and by. We'll meet on that beautiful shore. Thank you. That's left over from my brief career as a church choir director many years ago. And I found that in a hymnal. Of course, the original version of that sounds like, we will sing on that beautiful shore. You know, 1, 4, 5. I had to mess with it. I couldn't resist. All right, let's see what we've got here. That's a great tune. You can't do too much better. And that's got to be, what, 1870 something? They wrote some songs back then. All right, let's see what else we got. How about Sabor a Mi? I haven't done that in a long time. Here's a Mexican bolero from the 40s. Tanto tiempo disfrutamos este amor, nuestras almas se acercaron, tanto así que yo guardo tu sabor, pero tú llevas también sabor a mí. Si negaros mi presencia, tu vivir bastaría con abrazarte, conversar. Tanta vida yo te di, que por fuerza tienes ya sabor a mí. No pretendo ser tu dueño, no soy nada, yo no tengo vanidad de mi vida, todo lo es bueno, yo tan pobre que otra cosa puedo dar. Pasarán más de 1000 años, muchos más, yo no sé si tengo amor, la eternidad, pero allá tal como aquí, en la boca llevarás sabor a mí. no pretendo ser tu dueño, no soy nada, yo no tengo vanidad de mi vida, solo y bueno, yo tan pobre que otra cosa puedo dar. Pasarán más de 1000 años, muchos más, yo no sé si tengo amor, la eternidad, tallato como aquí, en la boca llevarás sabor a mí. Yeah?
And we're officially bilingual.
And it gets worse, believe me, before it gets better. What else we got here? Oh, I think it's time for something redneck. It don't get much better than this. Let it rain, let it pour, let it rain a whole lot more, 'cause I got those deep river blues. Let it rise, let it fall, let the waves make a wall, 'cause I got those deep river blues. A lot of practice. If my boat sinks with me, I'll go down now, don't you see? 'Cause I got those deep river blues. Now I'm going back to Muscle Shoals. Times are bad now, that I'm told. 'Cause I got those deep river blues. Here's the fancy part. My old gal's a good old pal, she looks like a waterfowl when I get those deep Prozac blues. There's no one to cry for me, the fishes all have a grand old spree when I get that deep river blues. Thank you.
Virtuoso guitar work there. That
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I arranged that one a long time ago. A mule is an animal with long, funny ears. He kicks up at anything he hears. His back is brawny, but his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak. And by the way, if you hate to go to school, you might grow up to be a mule. Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a pig? A pig is an animal with dirt on his face. His shoes are a terrible disgrace. He's got no manners when he eats his food. He's fat and lazy and extremely rude. So if you don't care a feather or a pig, you might grow up to be a pig. Or would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a fish? A fish don't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. To fool the people is his only thought. And though he's slippery, he still gets caught. But if that sort of life is what you wish, you might grow up to be a fish. And all the monkeys out in the zoo, every weekend at Churchville Avenue you meet quite a few. So you see, it's all up to you. You could be better than you are. You could be swinging on a star. Thank you. That's from an old Bing Crosby movie from the 1940s. Yeah. What else we got here? Oh, I think it's time to bust out another multicultural number. All right, this is an old bossa nova by Antonio Carlos Jobim from Brazil called Triste. Triste viver na solidão, na dor cruel de uma paixão. Triste saber que ninguém pode viver ilusão, que nunca vai ser, nunca dá. O sonhador tem acordar, tua beleza uma visão. De males para um pobre coração que para te ver passar só para se maltratar. Triste viver na solidão. Thank you.
Very exotic.
That's a fun tune. It's a little challenge to play. I got a right to sing the blues. I got a right to feel low down. I got a right to hang around, down around the river. I'm certain gal in this old town, she's dragging my poor heart around. All I see for me is misery. I got a right to sing the blues. I got a right to moan and sigh. I got a right to sit and cry down around the river. I know the deep blue sea will soon be calling me. It must be love, say what you choose. I got a right to sing the blues. All I see for me is misery. I got a right to sing the blues. I got a right to moan and sigh. I got a right to sit and cry down around the river. I know the deep blue sea will soon be calling me. It must be love, say what you choose. I got a right to sing the blues. There you go. So it was a big hit for Louis Armstrong and his orchestra back around 1933, and he took a trumpet solo on it that still raises the hair on my arms to this day. What have I got left? Oh, fancy stuff. All right. I Remember You. I don't know if anybody knows this, an old swing tune from the 50s. It was actually a movie theme at one point, I think. I can only play that one if I don't think about it at all. Because if I think about it, I go, my God, that's hard. Oh, what's the next chord? Ah! And then that's the end of it. You guys getting bored yet?
No.
Okay.
You know who would love this? Fritz.
Yeah, well, if he was free this evening, he could have come by. The little bum, he's going to have to watch it from home
Theater
now.
ambiance.
Theater ambiance. Let's see. What else have we got here that I haven't done in a while?
Nice lighting. The acoustics in here are great.
They actually are pretty darn good, I got to say. I wouldn't mind recording in here sometime. Oh, I guess I am. Oh, well. Little 7/16 intro. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where the wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, look at him working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Normally I would have a violin solo, but unless somebody plays violin. church and was buried along with the name. Nobody came, Father Mackenzie, wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved, all the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong?
Very different.
I like that one. I arranged that for a trio I played with many years ago. That actually had the 7/16 intro actually had a counter melody on the backbeat of 7/16 on the viola, and it was a very interesting arrangement. I wish I had somebody who could play it. Not everybody wants to jam on 7/16. It's called Stairway to Black Orpheus. Manhã bonita, manhã, dia feliz que cheia, o sono sussurjau, em cada cor brilhau, voltou o som então ao coração. Je puis restagir a feliz, não sei se outra dia haverá. E nossa manhã, tá bela final manhã, je carnaval. Je puis restagir feliz, não sei se outra dia haverá. E nossa manhã, tá bela final manhã, je carnaval, aunque meu coração alegria voltar, tá feliz amanhã, je se amor. Thank you.
Now we're
That's another-
officially trilingual.
That's yeah. So we got Portuguese and Spanish so far. I could probably throw in something French if I was feeling inclined. That's actually a theme to a movie from Brazil from back in the late '60s called Manhã de Carnaval, Black Orpheus in English, and it's a fabulous, interesting black and white film with a tremendous samba and bossa nova soundtrack. Interesting stuff. I got anything left here? Oh, I haven't done Spartacus yet. Love theme from the movie Spartacus with Kirk Douglas about 1950 something. I was introduced to this by a friend in college who was a jazz pianist, and I used to play it on oboe. Regrettably, my oboe chops are not what they once were, so I arranged it for guitar just to keep things interesting. getting bored yet?
You are Spartacus.
I'm feeling a redneck. I'm feeling redneck come over me.
I am Spartacus.
First night I come home, so drunk I could not see. How come there's a mule in the stable where my mule ought to be? Said, come here, my little wifey, explain this thing to me. How come there's a mule in the stable where my mule ought to be? And she said, you blind fool, you drunken fool, can't you never see? It's only a milk cow your granny gave to me. Well, I've rambled this world over 1,000 miles or more, but a saddle upon a milk cow's back, I've never seen that before. Well, the second night I come home, so drunk I could not see. How come there's a coat hanging on the rack where my coat ought to be? Said, come here, my little wifey, explain this thing to me. How come there's a coat hanging on the rack where my coat ought to be? And she said, you blind fool, you drunken fool, can't you never see? It's only a bed quilt Granny gave to me. Well, I rambled this world over 1,000 miles or more, but a pocket upon a bed quilt, well, I've never seen that before. The third night I come home, so drunk I could not see. How come there's a head on the pillow where my head ought to be? I said, come here, my little wifey, explain this thing to me. How come there's a head on the pillow where my head ought to be? And she said, oh, you blind fool, you drunken fool, can't you never see? It's only a cabbage head Granny gave to me. Well, I've rambled this world over 1,000 miles or more, but a mustache on a cabbage head, well, I've never seen that before. Three nights drunk. That was a big hit with the Christian household, I can tell. All right. Yeah, you got to sing what you got to sing. I'm going to run out of songs pretty soon. What have I not done yet? Oh, okay. Old Cuban Bolero. If I can remember all the words. ¿Cómo fue? No sé decirte cómo fue, no sé explicarme qué pasó, pero de ti me enamoré. Fue una luz que iluminó todo mi ser, tu risa como manantial llenó la vida inquietud. Fueron tus ojos o tu boca, fueran tus labios o tu voz, fue lo mejor la impaciencia de tanto esperar tu llegada, mas no sé decirte cómo fue, no sé explicarme qué pasó, pero de ti me enamoré. fueran tus ojos o tu boca, fueran tus labios o tu voz, fue lo mejor la impaciencia de tanto esperar tu llegada, mas no sé decirte cómo fue, no sé explicarme qué pasó, pero de ti me enamoré. What do you think? Is that enough?
That's good.
I can keep going.
One more.
One more. I'll do an original now that I'm warmed up.
Oh.
Yeah. This is called Sweet Autumn Rose. I wrote this for a woman I loved many years ago when her daughter had a daughter. And this is named for her granddaughter. Good night.
All right, we'll say good night from the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next time.